Happening now on Falcon Weekly, several states are on high alert as police rush to find the man who they say shot and killed a man and then posted it to Facebook. Hear their warning to those who may be helping the suspect hide.
And UM is celebrating Earth Week. See how you can get involved in protecting our planet.
Plus, spring is here and that means allergies. We've got some tips and tricks to help you beat the pollen in today's Health Minute.
And on the fast track, The Fate of the Furious raced its way to the top of the box office and right into the record books. Find out which global record the movie set on opening weekend. Falcon Weekly starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Falcon Weekly. I'm Brianna Rose.
And I'm Hope Finley. Thanks so much for joining us. Police have announced a $50,000 reward for information on an Ohio man who allegedly shot and killed an elderly father and grandfather and then posted the video of the shooting on social media.
He is now the subject of a nationwide manhunt. Kim Hutcherson has the latest on the search.
37-year-old Steve Stevens, accused of shooting an elderly man and posting video of the killing on Facebook, is now the subject of a multi-state manhunt.
We're going to make this individual's world very, very, very small.
Police said Stevens' phone last pinged in Pennsylvania.
Our federal partners, our local partners have reached out to their contacts all over the country, and this is what we would consider a national search.
Information is emerging about the victim, 74-year-old Robert Godwin Sr. He was a retired foundry worker with 9 children and 14 grandchildren. He enjoyed fishing and had just finished an Easter meal when he encountered Stevens Sunday.
Obviously, he's got deep issues. He committed a heinous crime in this city, and we want to get him off the streets as soon as possible.
Officials urged caution when donating to the victim's family, noting that there are several fake GoFundMe accounts. They also had a warning for anyone assisting the suspect.
If there's somebody that's helping Steve, or if you think you're helping Steve, you're really not. You're going to get yourself in trouble along with him. The only way for you to help him is to give us the information to bring him in safely, peacefully.
I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
Authorities describe Stephen as 6'1", weighing 244 pounds. He was last seen driving a white Ford Fusion with temporary tags. They say he is considered armed and dangerous.
New today, the Supreme Court will not hear a case regarding the federal government's expedited removal of undocumented immigrants. The court announced the decision this morning. At issue were undocumented Central American women and children apprehended as soon as they arrived in the U.S. without authorization. The immigrants had been seeking asylum, and their lawyers argued that they face what they called gender-based violence if they return home. But a federal appeals court ruled they have no right to a judicial review of such claims. New Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch did not participate in this decision. As the Trump administration nears the end of its first 100 days, it's dealing with an international challenge that appears to be getting more complicated by the day. What to do about the tensions over North Korea's nuclear program? It comes as Vice President Pence visiting the region and offering tough talk to the North Korean leader. Kristen Holmes is in Washington with the latest on the delicate diplomatic situation.
While Easter eggs were rolling at the White House Monday,
happy Easter and have a great time.
Halfway around the world in South Korea, Vice President Mike Pence was rolling out a new warning to the North Korean regime.
All options are on the table. North Korea would do well not to test his resolve or the strength of the armed forces of the United States in this region.
The vice president on a 10-day trip to the region, arriving in Seoul just hours after North Korea's failed missile test over the weekend. During a dramatic visit to the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea, Pence saying the Trump White House may not show the restraint of previous administrations.
We're going to abandon the failed policy of strategic patience.
Ramping up pressure on China to take a more aggressive stance.
We've seen China begin to take some actions to bring pressure on North Korea, but there needs to be more.
The president tweeting about China's role in the situation over the weekend, and on Monday firing off another verbal warning shot to North Korea.
Hi, Mr. President. Hi. North Korea. Hi.
Behave.
Trump also reiterating that he hopes the situation can be solved peacefully. The president's national security advisor echoing that stance, but also highlighting the urgency of the threat.
This problem is coming to a head, and so it's time for us to undertake all actions we can, short of a military option, to try to resolve this peacefully.
In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
Turning to campus news, registration is underway for fall classes. Seniors and juniors can already sign up for classes. Sophomore registration opens Tuesday, April 18th, followed by freshmen on the 20th. Registration opens at 7 a.m. on those days, and remember, you must meet with your advisor before you register for classes.
UM's Onagama Kiln is cooling down after art department faculty and students spent 100 hours firing the kiln last week. They lit the fire last Tuesday afternoon. Their goal was to raise the temperature inside the kiln by 50 degrees an hour until they reached 2,400 degrees. It takes the kiln a week to cool before they can open it and remove the artwork inside. The unloading will be held this weekend as part of the College of Fine Arts Forte Festival. For a complete schedule of festival events, check out the link on our Facebook page.
UM's Environmental Club kicked off their Earth Week celebration today by hosting an environmental justice event and bicycle repair shop. They will continue to have several events throughout the week, including panels, tours, and film screenings. For more information about all of the Earth Week events here on campus, check out the UM Falcon Weekly Facebook page. And if you thought last month felt a little warmer than normal, you're not alone. NASA says this past March was the second warmest March since modern record keeping was established more than a century ago. In fact, the two warmest Marches on record happened in the last 2 years. NASA says last month was 1.12 degrees Celsius warmer than the mean March temperature from 1951 to 1980. That temperature was slightly higher in March of 2016. The findings continue a trend this year. NASA says this past February was the second warmest February on record, while this past January was the third warmest January.
Southern California is enjoying a wildflower super bloom after years of extreme drought. Incredible photos and videos show how these spectacular wildflowers have transformed the landscapes into living paintings. The state had been under a drought state of emergency since 2014, but Governor Jerry Brown lifted the order for all but 4 counties earlier this month. The Bureau of Land Management is asking people to share their floral photos with the hashtag #TrackTheBloom. April and May are prime times for seeing the wildflowers before hot weather hits. Those wildflowers could trigger a lot of spring allergies, and for many of us, allergy season can mean misery with a capital M.
But doctors say you don't necessarily have to give up and suffer through it. Martha Shade has more in today's Health Minute.
Springtime may bring beautiful flowers, green grass, and budding trees, but for allergy sufferers, it can mean weeks of feeling lousy from the pollen.
I typically wake up in the morning, have kind of a scratchy throat, my sinuses are filled up, and a lot of times my eyes are swollen and red.
Allergy medicine may help with mild to moderate symptoms.
If you're suffering from runny nose, sneezing, and itchy eyes, I will recommend an antihistamine medication for your symptoms. But if nasal congestion is an issue, then it's a decongestant that may be more helpful.
And if you think ahead and start these meds before you even experience symptoms, you may keep them away or reduce their severity. When these efforts don't seem to be helping, it may be time for allergy shots.
Allergy shots are nice in that they help you build an immunity to the things you're allergic to, so that over time we see a decrease in symptoms.
It can also help to keep the windows closed and the AC on to reduce your exposure to pollen. Another tip, take a shower when you get in if you've been outdoors for a while. This will wash away excess pollen. For today's Health Minute, I'm Martha Shade.
In other news, new information in the Prince death investigation. Documents released this morning show strong opioid painkillers were found in several parts of Prince's home, Paisley Park. According to a search warrant issued April 21st of last year, the day Prince was found dead, investigators found several pills labeled Watson 853 hydrocodone acetaminophen in different bottles in the residence. Witnesses say Prince had a history of going through withdrawals. Prince died at the age of 57. The medical examiner's office said his death was result of accidental overdose of the opioid fentanyl. However, according to the Star Tribune, investigators are working under the theory that the top star did not know the pills contained fentanyl.
The Fate of the Furious sped its way to the #1 spot at the weekend box office with a $100 million debut in the United States. Globally, it ranked in an estimated $532 million, making it the biggest global opening in movie history. It broke the record previously held by Star Wars: The Force Awakens. The latest chapter in the long-running series features Ludacris, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Vin Diesel, Tyrese Gibson, and other familiar faces. Boss Baby and Beauty and the Beast rounded out the top 3 at the box office this weekend. And have you done your taxes yet? Time is running out. Tomorrow, Tuesday, April 18th, is the deadline. The traditional deadline of April 15th was pushed back because it fell on a weekend and because of the celebration of Emancipation Day in Washington, D.C. If you still need even more time, you can file for an extension. However, an extension does not mean an extension to pay if you owe any money.
United Airlines is making a policy change after one of its passengers was dragged off a plane. The company says it will now require staff and crew to check in at least 60 minutes before flight. After the passenger was taken off the flight, United said it needed the seat for a crew member. It is legal to bump a ticket holding a customer off a flight, but typically not once they've already boarded. United says this policy will ensure a crew member is seated before the plane fills up. That passenger, Dr. David Dowell, says he plans to file a lawsuit against United. Meanwhile, Delta customers on overbooked flights can now be offered nearly $10,000 for their seats. Supervisors were previously only able to offer up to $1,350, but Delta notified them Friday they'll now be able to offer up to $9,950 in compensation. Gate agents are also authorized to offer more now, $2,000 up from $800. Delta is making these changes after it had to cancel more than 3,500 flights because of severe weather in Atlanta earlier this month.
Ride-sharing company Uber booked $20 billion worth of rides last year, but it still says it managed to lose $2.8 billion.
Despite the massive loss, Uber grew sales rapidly during the second half of the year while keeping losses constant. That paints a positive picture of the company's future to some. Uber is privately held, and that means it doesn't legally have to release financial data. It provided the information voluntarily to Bloomberg. The financial disclosure may be an attempt to win the confidence of employees, investors, and customers. Accusations of institutionalized sexism from a former employee and pressure from taxi drivers continue to plague the company.
Switching gears to athletics, after winning 3 of 4 games this weekend, including a sweep of Francis Marion on senior night, Montevallo softball has clinched a spot in the Peach Belt tournament for the second time in program history. The Falcons will travel to Milledgeville, Georgia for their quarterfinal matchup. Their opponents have yet to be confirmed because they still have a makeup game tomorrow against North Georgia. First pitch is set for 1 p.m. tomorrow from Orr Park. Coach Vanover's team is 23-21 and currently sits 6th in the Peach Belt standings. And UM will host the 2017 Peach Belt Track and Field Championships this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the university's Track and Field Stadium. The Falcons will welcome 7 other schools for the championships. Fellow PBC teams Augusta, Clayton State, Columbus State, and North Georgia will be joined by associate members Florida Tech and Nova Southeastern. Single-day tickets are $5 for adults. Thursday and Friday events will start at 9 a.m. Saturday action starts at 8 a.m. and the award ceremony will be at 1 p.m. Be sure to check out MontevalloFalcons.com for recaps of the women's golf team's second place finish at the PBC Championships and for the latest on baseball and lacrosse. And finally, a popular giraffe in upstate New York has a new baby boy.
April the giraffe gave birth on Saturday with about 1.25 million people watching it on a live stream. The 15-year-old new mom lives at the Animal Adventure Park in Harpersville. Her fans have been waiting for weeks in anticipation of her having a baby. April will raise the baby boy, but he will be moved elsewhere in up to 10 months. This was the first time that a calf was born in the park. Officials there will hold a contest to name the baby boy.
Remember, there's more news online 24/7. Just remember to search UM Falcon Weekly on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to see more stories and news updates throughout the week. And that's all the time we have for this week's show. Thank you so much for joining us.
For more UM news from MassCom student reporters, be sure to check out the Falcon News Network blog. The web address is on your screen, and we'll see you again next week for our final newscast of the semester.